Hi, I'm Chef Gail Sokol and welcome to my kitchen. Today we're making a pavlova. And a pavlova is a meringue that's got a lot of stuff on it to make it look beautiful with lots of textures. It's actually named after the ballerina Anna Pavlova because she was very light on her feet. So a chef decided to, as a tribute to her, make this beautiful light meringue pavlova. But before we get started, I want you to click that notification button because I want you to become a subscriber. I don't want you to miss any of my tips or videos because they're really fantastic. And I love having you in my kitchen with me. It's like having a friend. So pavlova is made with a simple meringue or a common meringue. Super easy to do, but it does have some hands-off time. So you have to preheat your oven to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. You heard me, 225. That's a really low temperature. So you're really drying out the meringue. And meringues are just egg whites and sugar and a few other things to stabilize it so that when you bake it, it's nice and crispy. And then we put things like whipped cream on top, and chocolate sauce, and fruit, and nuts, and yum, yum, yum. And it's a great party dessert. It's a great dessert for a crowd. It is delicious, and it's so impressive. It looks like you spent all day, but it's super easy. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take a sheet pan, and it doesn't even matter what size it is. It could even be a pizza pan. And I have a 9-inch cake pan, all right? And I put the 9-inch cake pan on a piece of parchment paper, and I took a pen or a pencil, and I actually marked it, the perimeter of that cake pan, so I have a 9-inch circle imprinted on there. Then I flipped it over so that the pencil or the pen, you don't want that on your meringue, so I flipped it over. So once we get our meringue done, I'm going to show you how we're going to put all that beautiful billowy meringue on here. And then we just bake it and let it air dry in the oven for about an hour and 15 minutes. So it takes a while. And then you're going to turn off your oven and leave it in there for another hour. So the 2 seconds that it takes to make it, there's a lot of hands-off time, but then it gives you time to make other things. So it's very easy. So in my electric mixer, I have 4 large egg whites. And I've allowed them to get to room temperature. Separate your eggs when they're cold, and then get your egg whites and leave them out for about an hour. And then your egg yolks you can actually use if you're making ice cream or custard. Some people toss them. You can freeze them, but it's probably not as easy to freeze yolks as it is whites. So I have 4 large egg whites. And in the meantime, I have 1 tablespoon of granulated sugar in a little cup, and I have 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. Cornstarch is sort of going to light it up, sort of lighten it up. All right, so I'm going to mix that in with my sugar. And the reason why I'm putting it in with the sugar, I'm adding a lot more sugar. I'm adding another cup of sugar. This just lightens the cornstarch, so it actually doesn't go in as, like blobs, like little blobs. So this just will lighten it up a little bit. And I'm going to put it in with the sugar. Okay. So I'm not going to put that in just yet. I'm going to add 1 cup of granulated sugar. And we're going to beat the heck out of these egg whites with our whip. You don't want to use your paddle. You want to use your whip. All right. And you're going to go high speed, warp speed, and you're going to let that go till it gets soft peaks. And when it gets to these soft peaks, we're going to start adding our sugar 1 tablespoon at a time, a little bit at a time, to let the sugar sort of get, homogeneously blended in with those egg whites. Now our secret ingredient, besides our cornstarch, is a teaspoon of lemon juice. It's an acid, and it's going to denature, sort of break down the proteins of the egg white and allow it to become more stable so that it doesn't sort of, sort of fold down and collapse. All right, let me show you what these look like. All right, so these are foamy, but they're not at soft peaks yet. So they're sort of foamy, okay, you can see. And this is not when you want to start putting in the sugar. You want to wait another minute or so. And I have a big spoon, and I'm just going to add a spoonful at a time, slowly, and let each spoonful incorporate. All right? Now we're ready to go. Look how fast this happened. Look how fast this happened. So now we have what's known as sort of soft peaks. You can see how they're attached to the beater, and they sort of hold on a little bit. So now we're ready to go. So I'm going to put about a tablespoon in there. Let it sort of get mixed in. Some people like to wait about 30 seconds in between spoonfuls of sugar. I don't have the patience, but the thing to do is you want to make sure that you're incorporating the sugar, no matter how long it takes, because the ultimate goal is stiff peaks. And I will show you beautiful stiff peaks. All right, so I'm adding my sugar, 1 big tablespoon at a time. It's the way I do it. And then we're going to add our remaining 1 tablespoon of sugar and cornstarch. And then we're going to slide in that 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. Some people actually use, so just a little bit left here. Some people actually add cream of tartar. Some of you probably have done that. Cream of tartar is also an acid, but we're just adding lemon juice instead. All right. So now I'm going to add the tablespoon of sugar with the tablespoon of cornstarch. Get that in there. And that just lightens it up. And then lemon juice, just 1 teaspoon, that's all it is. And then I'm gonna, it's stiff, but I want it to be a little stiffer. So what I'm going to do is just take my rubber spatula, go around the sides, knock it down from the sides. You may get some sugar in there. You may get some cornstarch that sort of got knocked into the side. And then just go on high speed for like a couple seconds. And then we're ready to put it into our pan. This is going to be 1 big Pavlova, 1 big one. So you have to share. I know, boo-hoo, right? You have to share. All right. So I'm going to remove my parchment paper with my circle on it. I'm going to remove that. And I'm going to show you, if I can get my beater off, how really nice this looks. You can see that? When I flip it over, stiff peaks, okay? The tip just curled over, but it's stiff peaks. So picture a mountaintop in the Swiss Alps. That's where we're going with this, all right? So we're just gonna get this knocked off of here. Okay, I'm gonna put that in my sink. And then I'm just going to go around, because sometimes there's just a little bit of, sugar, ingredients around the edges, cornstarch. I just want to get them in there. You don't want to overmix it. If you overmix it, what happens? The air leaves. We don't want the air to leave. This whole thing is because of air. So I'm going to take an offset spatula, and I'm just going to dip it into my beautiful meringue. And I'm going to go on each corner and a little smear, just a little smear of my meringue, okay? And then I'm going to take, remember, my flipped over circle so that we don't get pen marks on our egg, or nobody eats that, okay? And I'm just going to move that over so it's really plastered down, so that when I start putting see that? So it won't fall over, won't fall out. So when I start smearing around my my meringue and I put it on my circle, I'm going to spread it out, and I don't want that parchment paper to go willy-nilly all over the place. Yes, someone does actually use the word willy-nilly. I know, what a crazy word, right? Or is it 2 words? Who cares? We're making Pavlova. We don't care about that word. All right, so you just pile it in the center of your circle. All right, clean off your rubber spatula. Just pile it in there. Get it all in. And then I just like to take this offset, or you can take a spoon, whatever you want to do. Just keep an eye on the circle. Keep an eye on the circle. And you're just going to, it doesn't have to be perfect, but you do want to get it around the perimeter. So you're trying to make a circular shape. You see what I'm doing? And it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be smooth. We don't want it smooth. No smooth. No smooth. We want it lumpy and bumpy and beautiful and thick, because once it dries, it's going to be crusty and just beautiful and crisp. And we just want, see how we're just going to make those little like blips up there, almost like, you know, you go into the ocean and you see the waves come up. We're surfing in the meringue. That's what we're doing, folks, surfing the meringue. So that once we start putting whipped cream and fruit and nuts on here and chocolate sauce, it's going to be gorgeous. It's like a showstopper. This is a showstopper, all right? So I have this. This is all I'm doing. I'm done. I'm ready for the oven. So you're going to leave it just like this. You're going to put it at your low oven, 225 degrees Fahrenheit, for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Then you're going to shut your oven off. Don't open it, no peeking, and leave it in for another hour because you want it dry and crisp. It should have not much color on it at all. It should be almost as pale as it is now. So I'll see you back after it's baked. So we're going to build our beautiful Pavlova. It's been in the oven for, remember, 1 hour and 15 minutes at 225 degrees Fahrenheit, drying out beautifully. And then I shut my oven off and I didn't open it. I left it in there for another hour. There's no color to it. I took an offset spatula and sort of moved it around. And now I'm going to lift it gently onto a serving platter. So here's my serving platter. I'm ready to go. If you're not going to serve this right away, just leave it on the sheet pan, cover it, and leave it at room temperature until you are ready to serve it. You want this done right before you serve. All right, are you ready? Now, this is the fun part. This is where we have all our embellishments. So I have 1 cup of very cold, heavy cream that I beat with 1 tablespoon of confectioner's sugar and about a teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. And I just beat the heck out of it until we got stiff peaks. And these are beautiful stiff peaks. So I'm going to sort of randomly put spoonfuls of the whipped cream all over our beautiful meringue. And you're building it up. You really want height. You're trying to get a creaminess here so that you have all different textures. So we got the crunch with the meringue. And this is really an incredible thing to bite into. Have you ever taken a picture or seen somebody who's ever had a firm, beautiful baked meringue? Just eyeball them. Take a look at, and they're like, oh, there's like this aha moment, this little, just like moment where you say, oh, this is so good. So I'm just going to spread and smear my whipped cream around. And the good thing about this is it doesn't have to be perfect. So now it's time for the berries, and I have all different types. So I'm going to start with my strawberries, and I've just sort of quartered them. They weren't too big. And all you need total is really a cup of fruit, cup of fresh fruit. That's all you need. So you decide what fruit, and you decide how much you want to use. But like I said, don't overdo it. Don't overdo it. I have some beautiful blackberries, fresh blackberries. I'm going to put them on. I love the color contrast between the strawberries, the blackberries. You could even do fresh cherries, anything you want that will give it a sort of a hint of color. I love a hint of color. blueberries. Just scatter. If you wanted to do, you could do cut up mango that's diced. You could do kiwi, other fruits, whatever you decide. Really, really makes it pretty. And then you're going to cut this. It'll soften a little bit over time. And whoa, a runaway blueberry. And then some nice raspberries. Beautiful raspberries. Big raspberries. And we're just going to push them in there. If you stick them onto the whipped cream, they won't go anywhere. They can't escape. And then we're going to top it all off with a little chocolate sauce. So I have some ganache. I have the ingredients already in my recipe. You'll see we've made ganache together forever. You just heat up some heavy cream almost to a simmer, almost to a boil. Take it off the heat. Add some semi-sweet chocolate chips or high-quality chapped chocolate. I like bittersweet or semi-sweet chocolate. And then whisk it till it's glorious like this. And you've got to let it get a little bit more room temperature. You don't want it hot because it will actually deflate, which is a great word, deflate your whipped cream. And you just put on as much or as little as you want. So pretty. So you just sort of drizzle it. The colder it gets, the thicker it's going to get. But that's okay. Ganache is good no matter what temperature it is. Absolutely delicious. And then I love nuts. If you have somebody in your family or friends that don't like nuts, you can leave them out. But I have chopped salted pistachios that I've sort of coarsely chopped. And then I have slivered toasted almonds. They can be salted or not salted. You can leave off the nuts. You can add different nuts. I just love the nuts. I think they add just such a nice crunch. We have so many different textures here. And then my pistachios, woo, they're bouncing. They're bouncing off it. It's like we've built like this mountain, this beautiful mountain of fruit and meringue and whipped cream. It's scrumptious. And there you have a pavlova, as light and airy as Anna Pavlova, the dancer herself. So I hope you make this beautiful pavlova. I hope you become a subscriber. Till next time.